Now, for the piece de resistance, we've got young Igor joining us and becoming a Fragginstein. Here we are, the cook in the kitchen, Igor himself. We're going to be putting together, for those of you who don't know, the ideal teammate or ideal player. We've got in each category a player from each team in this week's groups. And from each column, you're going to pick the best player or the player you feel like is the best for their one quality at the top. So
we're going to start over here.
And we're going to start over here with positioning. And with positioning, you get to pick from any of the Complexity players. From what your experience is playing against Complexity, who would you feel you'd like to take the positioning from?
Yeah. I would pick Poison.
Poison. Okay, tell us why. We wanted to ask you about Poison because you did some opping on Mirage. You guys were opping against each other on that map. What's your thoughts about Poison?
First of all, he has the same surname as me.
Okay, that helps.
Great reason.
Then I think he's a really good sniper, you know. When I was watching the game Complexity versus Astralis, he was like even overplayed a device for he had like 11-0 or stuff like this.
Yeah.
So
11 and
really,
duels.
when you play 11-0 against device, you are one of the best snipers already.
I have a question. We saw him do the same thing versus Zywoo versus Vitality, just kind of beating the Opper. Were any of the snipers, was Simple scared today of Poison?
To be honest, no, I don't think so, because Simple is never scared about it.
I remember once, the only time I've ever heard Simple say he was like worried was because he was facing Guardian a long time ago.
Yeah.
Guardian was the only opera that he ever thought of as better than him.
Yeah, it was impossible to play. When we played with his Guardian team, when you play against him mixes, it was like unreal to kill him.
Really? Yeah, it was that good. Wow. It's so cool to hear that from your perspective, because you get to you see what it feels like when they peek you, right? Okay, so now we're going to move on to aim. We're just talking about that. We've got all of Astralis here. There's some natural choices.
They all have really good aim, you know, but I would pick Magisk.
Magisk, okay.
Yeah.
That's actually Magisk 2 times in a row that he's been picked for aim. Is there anybody who competes with Magisk on aim? Is it close?
I think Dupree, but now Magisk is a little bit better for me, and he's a really good aimer. So.
Yeah. Sometimes he's the guy that cracks open the B site.
Yeah,
he's
I remember his deal. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got to be on the receiving end of that sometimes. Do you ever watch any of the demos of these players?
Yeah, of course. We're watching like whole team, but you see the highlights or stuff like all these players doing.
Yeah, and you can learn a thing or two. And from your teammates, you might learn a thing or two. We've got communication up next. And now you've got to pick. You can pick yourself if you want to.
No, I'm not the best in communication.
Okay, who's got the best communication?
Electronic.
Oh my God, Electronic. I did not expect that.
Yeah, he's talking so much. He knows everything, you know.
He knows everything.
He's the best player in the world.
He's the best player in the world.
Yeah, with Simple.
With Simple.
Okay. You know, when we were making this in the basement of the hotel, Simple walked by, and we actually quickly, we stopped him, and we said, hey man, choose from your team. Who's up there with you? You know, who do you keep your eye on? He said Electronic as well, so this is praise from within NAVI.
I want to know more about this. We don't hear anybody talk about this. It feels like Electronic, he doesn't get enough attention because you're playing with Simple and everything like that. Tell me more about this. What makes his communication so good, and what do you mean by he knows everything?
Yeah, you know, he's like very, very smart player, and he's movement god, like people call him. And when you outplay your enemy not only on aim, but he communicates a lot with all our players, and I think he's doing the best from our team. Maybe Boomich is the second, but Electronic.
Does he make decisions for the rounds as well? Does he call strats?
Yeah, he's like second caller sometimes. Sometimes he calls, and same with Simple. Like 3 people from our team calls Simple, Boomich, and Electronic, but Boomich like 90%.
Oh wow, that's really interesting. That's so cool. That's why we love to have these segments. We get that kind of insight.
You say he talks a lot, Electronic. Does he ever calm too much? Is it ever kind of crazy?
No, he's like talking only good information, you know, not random stuff. He's talking only what he knows.
Who's talking the bad information?
No one.
Good answer.
I mean, that's how you guys top the group, right? Didn't lose a game. So that's it. Now we go on to the clutch factor. Who's the guy you want in the 1v1 who you can trust to lock down the round every single time?
Of course, it's Zywoo, but I like RPK. Not in clutch, but I like RPK.
Really?
Is that the official choice?
No, I would choose Zywoo.
Okay, yeah,
Close,
but you have to pick a second choice because obviously
I need to pick like the best team in the world. Yeah,
Yeah, he's that guy. So with RPK, that's actually
Because
kind of
I was
interesting.
playing Source, you know, and I
Yeah.
was like big fanboy of him.
RPK God, yeah.
Yeah, I was fanboy. That's
Yeah, the
why I
tank.
wanted to pick. And Shocks, of course.
You know what? I would say you and RPK play. You have like a very similar play style. I was going to say you're on a quite a not super low sense, but it's like at 1.6
Yeah,
at
no,
400.
I use 1.4.
At 1.4, something like
400.
400. Okay, yeah. And then it feels like you try not to flick around too much. Right?
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
the kills come to you. Is that the way that you play, or just the thing that just how it happens?
I think, yeah, it's like the way I play because I don't like. I like to move smooth now, like
Smoothly, yeah.
smoothly. Not
Instead
like,
of flicking?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like this. And when I play even in bots or like deathmatch, I don't move like this. I move small.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and RPK, I feel like you guys are honestly a spitting image. You just got sharper hair. That's a shark fin. You don't have that. That's cool. Well, okay, now we've put together
The
player.
Fragginstein.
Yeah, that's the Fragginstein. I think we've got a pretty good roster right here. And it was super cool to hear about electronic on the comms. Love that. And I think so are the people at home. First of all, I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to shake your Rubbermaid yellow
Your
gloves.
rubber hands, my
yes,
friend.
that's wonderful.
Cheers, Flamie.
And make sure you take your pictures, guys, and screenshots. that's a wonderful image that should rest in your minds for the rest of your life. That is